Oh, kick back and chillax, MFer. Kick back and chillax.
Kick back and chillax.
Kick back and chillax, MFer. Kick back and chillax.
Man, you better calm down.
Kick back and chillax, MFer. Kick back and chillax.
Kick back and chillax.
Kick back and chillax, MFer. Kick back and chillax. Damn. All right. What's going on? Welcome to the very first podcast of its kind. It's called Kick Back and Chillax. It's gonna be the poddest of all podcasts, y'all. I'm your boy, Richard. I'm also known as AyoRichard. You see me on the streets from time to time. But hey, this is the podcast for all the all-balls and hooligans out there. Right beside me is my main man. His name is Will Chang.
What's up? What's happening, y'all?
Will Chang's my boy. We go way back. We the same ethnicity. Just letting you guys know, first and foremost, we Cambodian. Okay.
Are we from the streets? We from the same streets? Is that what you about to say?
We from the same streets. We got the same skin tone. If you can't see us, you know that's us. So I just want to let you guys know that from the get-go, okay? To start things off here, number one podcast, we kind of want to get things started. We're gonna talk about the 90s, okay? We're gonna talk about how it was to be a kid in the 90s because I was born 88. Will?
I was also born 88.
Yeah, so we're 88 babies, 90s kids.
Yeah, you even remember, like, the 90s? Because, I mean, like, you know, the first 5 years of the 90s, you probably didn't remember the 90s like that.
I'll be honest with you, my memories don't start until 94. Straight up. Like, yeah, like, you know, we were born 88. Don't remember anything 89, 90. But then, like, I think memories starts accumulating after, for us, honestly, for me, after 95. So, but in my blood though, I am a true 90s kid. So definitely want to talk about that. And for all you 90 kids head out there, I'm sure you relate. Any one of y'all that's born after Y2K, this is in the history books for y'all. So you'll learn something new today, okay? So yeah, let's go ahead and start things off here. The first thing to go over, my favorite as a kid, TV shows.
Here we go. This is a juicy right here. Is that why you brought me on the show, man? Shoot, the pilot episode? This is the pilot episode, right?
Pilot episode, but again, as you
mentioned, we ain't flying no planes. You better calm down.
Yeah, we're not flying no plane. This is a Pearl Harbor. We're not doing any of that mess.
You need to relax.
We're not doing any mess. But nah, just to start off really strong, I feel like TV shows is a great platform. Because I remember as a kid, Saturday morning TV was like the go-to.
It was like a religion. Like you set your alarm, or actually I remember going to sleep like early because I was like, man, I gotta wait because you know, back in the day, like when you're a kid, time moves so slowly, right? It feels like forever. So I remember like Friday night, I tried to like wear myself out so I was tired so I could get to sleep. So like I felt like I would time travel like to the next morning so I could watch 90 shows. Because some of those shows were up pretty early. Like some, I felt like
they were like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. Some were like 7:30. And when my favorite show like moved from like 9 to like 7, I was like, what? Man, I gotta wake up like 2 hours to make sure I catch this.
Yeah, I gotta see what happened to Lord Zed. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot, man, when Yu-Gi-Oh was up, like, you know, it moved for, I think it was like at noon or 11, and then I mean that might have been like early 2000s, honestly. But then like when some shows they moved like 7 o'clock, it's like, damn, I gotta wake up now like 6:30, get my cereal right and everything, and get ready to watch and put on my favorite show.
Exactly. No, you're right. And I felt like 7 was a little early. I think 11 might be a little late. I think that prime time was like 9.
Yeah.
9, 10 o'clock Saturday morning cartoons, best of the best. Because I remember as a kid, dude, I'd hate waking up in the morning to go to school. But when it's Saturday morning, dude, I wake up, no alarm clock, in my PJs, just ready to like go.
You ready to go?
Ready to go. And I had a few. Like, I mean, do you have any favorite TV shows that come to mind that you wanted to you want to reminisce about?
I feel like all like the DC animated, you know, I guess like, you know, Batman the animated series, you know, Batman Beyond. After that, I feel like that came a little bit later. And of course, like Superman, Yu-Gi-Oh was up there. Oh man, there's like so many. I can't even like remember them. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was one. Shoot, I remember watching like Spider-Man, X-Men. Man, you got to start listening off because you telling me it's like I can't like come up with them like out of thin air, right? But if you gave me a list, I'd be like, that one was good. That one was good. Shoot, man. I mean, even Power Rangers, even though that wasn't a cartoon. Yeah, Goosebumps. Man, I'm gonna lie, Goosebumps scared me. Like I was like, yo, it's too early. It's too early on a Saturday to ruin the rest of my weekend.
Goosebumps was tight. What scared me was Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, Tales from the Crypt. Don't get me started.
Dude, that because that's not really in the morning. It was more at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when that fool comes on TV. It always happens when like my parents leave the house. They're like, hey, we're gonna go to a wedding. You take care of the house, okay? And then somehow my cousin's there, and they're like, hey, we're gonna watch Tales from the Crypt. I'm like, I can't. Well, come on, can we watch that mouse? And they're like, all right, fine. We watching Cops. What? Come on, now that's how they scarred me as a kid. But I digress. Again, you did mention earlier Batman Beyond, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now, Batman Beyond, most underrated show.
Yes. No, wait, no, not really. Would you really say it's underrated? Because the people I know like love and adore it. And it's not, I don't know if it's underrated because like, man, DC picked it up. They made it like canon, right?
Made it canon now.
Yes.
But it was underrated when it first came out because it wasn't canon. And I felt like it was slept on because it was just like, you see it as like a spin-off of the animated series of Batman. And excuse me, that was one of my top favorite shows in the 90s is the one with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. That was like the classic. So when the 2000s hit, well, we're talking about 90s, but when the Batman Beyond hit, everyone's kind of like, they kind of slept on it. I think it was appreciated more
after the fact.
Years later.
Yeah, because like I felt like the animation and the storytelling was a little different too. Like you saw the style was a little bit different too. And I don't know, I always liked, I mean, I guess I just like the superheroes and I love the tech stuff. And I'm like going through it right now, just a quick Google search, and here's some that I remember. Yo, SWAT Cats was up here. Street Sharks. Yo, Darkwing Duck.
Yo, Darkwing Duck was my jam.
Darkwing motherfucking Duck. Oh my gosh.
That was
Let's get dangerous. Right? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, well, since you brought up Darkwing Duck, I did have a list here. Do you remember Freakazoid?
Freakazoid, yes. I remember Freakazoid. I didn't really watch Freakazoid that much, but I do remember it.
He had that weird intro. Freakazoid. Dude, that was a slept on show too, because it felt like it came and went. And I don't know, like it was one of my favorites as a kid because he was like eccentric like me. But I think it was like an undertone. It was like an undertone of like, was he a superhero or was he just on crack? Because I don't remember his special power. He was just all over the place. He was like Flash, but not really.
Really? Yeah.
I didn't know what his special power was or what he did for society.
I thought he had like some electric powers. Like he'd go through like power lines and stuff like that.
Again, 90s show, very blurry. I just remember his image, his face, but I honestly can't remember his powers.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I'm just looking through the other list of other stuff. Hey Arnold is up here. Yo, Gargoyles.
Oh, dude. That was a very deep show for a kid show.
Yes. Like
every episode, it was some sort of like life lesson or something. I was like, I don't know if this is a kid show, man. This is pretty deep for a 9-year-old. You know what I mean? That was I think I heard about that being picked up as a movie soon.
What? Like recently? Now? Like
now?
Like now? It's 2019.
As of 2019.
Let me see this.
What's his name? From Key and Peele. Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
It's set to be producer of like a gargoyle movie.
No way.
Yes.
Let me look this up.
That's the last I heard about it. And 90s kid rejoiced like, gargoyles, what? Because I was like, yo, that show was pretty. It's still one of my favorite. I'm still waiting for it to like pop up on like Netflix.
We'll see. Oh, you mean like the actual series itself?
Yeah.
Wants to make. Oh yeah. So it shows here that Jordan Peele wants to make a movie, but as far as anything else, any news about it, I'm not sure if it's going to be happening. All right. So some of these shows you like, yeah. So what was like? Did anything particularly stand out to you? Like anything that you really enjoyed? Anything you argued about with other kids on the playground? Like, no, this is the best show. No, this is the best show.
I think I remember in elementary school, the top 2 cartoon shows for me, I couldn't pick between them, was X-Men.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
X-Men and Spider-Man.
Yo, I don't know if I remember correctly if it was back to back, but it was just the animation, the story, the freaking opening, especially X-Men.
X-Men, the opening was hype.
I can still hear it. Like I can go on YouTube and type in X-Men opening. Put that shit on mute, and I can still hear it in my head. That's how good it was. And it'll be like 20 years later, I'm like, do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm like, oh, come on. Somebody getting killed today. Oh, my Lord. So, opening, X-Men got it. Spider-Man, it was still good, too, because of...
that was real. They came out with some really, some heavy stuff, some deep...
With Peter Parker? Stuff. I don't remember who I spoke to about, but I remember the animation. Peter Parker always had like a polo
Yeah.
Right, like a striped polo.
Yep.
And I was saying, like, if they made a legit Spider-Man movie in the 90s, you know who I'd imagine being the actor?
Who?
Mark Paul Gosselaar from Saved by the Bell, Zach
Oh,
Morris.
yeah.
He would have been the perfect Peter Parker in the 90s.
Yes.
If it came out, because it looked just like him.
He's in he's in a show right now on Hulu. It's called Mixed Dish. I think that's him.
I heard about it.
That's a good show. You should check that one out too. Yep.
Oh yeah. I think he plays
he plays the dad,
like a hippie or something.
He plays
Long
and
hair.
he plays like the dad. And he plays like a hippie, and he's basically trying to be like a dad, like to I guess, and he has like a half black daughter, and he's trying to like help them traverse through, I guess, society at that time. And I don't know, some of it is like really funny.
Is it like a flashback?
Yeah, it's kind of like a flashback. So it's told by the daughter has grown up. I forgot her name. I just started watching it like with my girlfriend, and basically she's telling her story about how it was growing up as a mixed, I guess, a black woman back in the day, and so she talks about it in flashbacks, and he talks about like her dad trying to like fix her hair and some of the problem, and he doesn't know, and it's just I don't know. There's some funny interactions, and like, you know, it's hilarious. I think you get a kick out of it, so I don't know, you should check it out.
It does kind of sound familiar to like a book I read. That's for another episode.
All right.
But yeah, any other shows that pop up other than the ones that was mentioned that you were like, yo, like,
argue? How about Arthur, Doug?
Come on now.
Powerpuff Girls.
Come on now.
Shoot, Dexter's Laboratory. I can't.
Dude.
Yo. DuckTales.
Classic.
Dude, that DuckTales, that theme, that opener. Yo, you gotta find some clips, and you gotta let the audience know all these all these theme songs.
Man, I don't think they're ready for that.
Oh my gosh, yo, man. Dude, Arthur, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of course, SpongeBob. Oh, Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. Oh, dude, the Magic School Bus.
Yo, Miss Frizzle.
Recess. Pokemon. Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain was one of my Animaniacs. Had that here.
Yep.
I remember as a kid, I really like Animaniacs and Bugs Bunny.
Really? Why though?
Because I think they were just really weird, kind of like they can do whatever they want. They kind of got away with things. That's why I was like kind of big on like Bugs Bunny.
Okay.
Like as a kid, Bugs Bunny was like, man, he was so cool. But now when you watch it as an adult, you're like, yo, this dude's a dick.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny is a fucking asshole.
Oh, like Bugs Bunny is a freaking dick. Like he is just because remember the guy that always goes
Elmer
after
Fudd?
him?
I think it's Elmer Fudd, right?
Like, gonna get that wabbit. Come on, wabbit. And he's like, what's up, Doc? And I'm like, yo, he's so cool. But now I watch him like, yo, leave Elmer Fudd alone. He's just trying to do his job. You're making it difficult for him. Come on, man. So that, I mean, as a kid, I kind of like, those are like my type of figures because they're just like oddballs. And I felt like I was an oddball as a kid. And it was like, they're not conventional.
Yeah.
They kind of just did whatever they want. Animaniacs, because it's like not just one, it was three. And it was like, you know, because, you know, me and my siblings, so I can see like the Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
Yeah, right. Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
Yeah.
So you like them. So when I watched Animaniacs and Bugs Bunny, like, yeah, man, I watched them and like I enjoyed them, but I didn't like them as much. Like I think I preferred like Pinky and the Brain or like Dexter's Laboratory. I don't know. Maybe it's just our personalities. Like, growing up. Maybe you were kind of like, you know, you like kind of the eccentric, funny, and I would say I was somewhat of a little book nerd. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I felt like I could relate to, you know, kind of like someone who's scheming, like thinking of thoughts to, like, rule the world or, like, making scientific experiments and whatnot.
Right.
You know? So, it's kind of interesting to see that kind of that contrast between, like, what you like and what I like. Although, I did grow into it a little bit more, I would say, like I loved, like, Ed, Ed and Eddie, like back in late 90s, like, because they but I think that was a kind of mix because they were goofy, they did their own thing, they were eccentric or whatever, but like they were also kind of like relatable too, because you know they're always trying to either get candy or like think of some sort of business plan to, like, I don't know, make money to get candy or something. And then I think that part like kind of appealed to me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if they're just being pranksters or whatnot, I don't know, that didn't really appeal to me as much. Like I needed the characters to kind of have like a goal. You know what I'm saying?
I think that was just kind of my mindset
at the time.
At the time, I was kind of like kind of rambunctious and just wanted that like urge to like just do. And then when I saw them as characters, like, yo, I like that. I mean, I did enjoy, like, you know, Pinky and Brain for like story purposes. Like he had like this end goal of taking over the world, and then but then was it Pinky was always there?
Yes.
Did you ever read about the theory, or there was a theory that the whole time Pinky was actually the smart one?
Yeah.
And he was just like controlling brain or something like that?
Yeah, or putting like ideas in his head or whatever and making them fail. So like, yeah. And then there was one episode where he became smarter. Like he got like some serum or something and he became smarter than Brain, or quote unquote, right? And then like all his plans worked and then Brain got jealous or something.
Yeah.
And then Piggy, because he was his friend, was like, you know what? I'm become dumb again or whatever for his friend. I was like, yeah, I think that was like the first time, like as a kid, like from like a cartoon, like I think I cried. I'm pretty sure like I teared up. I was like, oh damn.
That kind of I mean, this is kind of like not 90s, but it reminds me of like that episode of Family Guy. Have you ever watched it? You know the character Joe? He's the hey Peter, that guy with the handicap. There was an episode where he they fix his leg.
What?
Yeah, because
I didn't see this.
They fix his leg. Spoiler, guys, if you haven't watched it. I mean, it's been out, but that's on you. So he's the handicap one of the friends. He's like a cop, right?
Yeah.
And I think there was an episode where they fixed his legs, and then he was like up and about again, and then he started being athletic, like running and biking, and he left Peter. Like, you guys are my friends, and then they left him because now he's all like he can walk now and run now.
So you don't need them anymore.
He don't need him anymore. So Peter's like, we need our friend back. The only way to get our friend back is to break his legs. So they like jumped him and broke his legs so that way he can become like handicapped and come back to the friends group. So pretty much.
That's messed up.
Yeah, so it kind of reminded me when you told me about the Pinky and the Brain episode. So, I mean, cartoons, man, like though I haven't seen Family Guy in a while because I felt like it kind of got saturated. But
yeah, for sure.
It's always those ones like you mentioned, Pinky and the Brain, Dexter's Laboratories one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, kids these days are missing out. That was a great show because he was like this. He was just too good for his own mind.
Yes, he was too good for his own mind. I'm trying to think what else. Like, there was like Cartoon Network had a full stint of just like amazing. Like, I really liked like Samurai Jack. I don't know if that was if that was 90s or if that was early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Shoot, what else?
I feel like if you remember it more, it's early 2000s.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Oh my gosh, dude. All right, so I'm looking at some other ones right here, right now. Okay, Captain Planet.
Oh,
1990s.
Yo.
All right, Thundercats in 1985 it started, but like I remember watching that in the 90s.
I felt like we watched the reruns, but
yeah, for sure.
Honestly, I think it's like before our time. Yeah, it was way before our time. Like I know of it, but I don't know it. Like like Thundercats. I'm like, I mean, I didn't really. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. But like, you talk about Captain Planet. I remember Captain Planet.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Captain Planet.
Oh yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. I think it was was it the Sonic the Hedgehog TV show? The voice actor was Jaleel White, Steve Urkel.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
What?
You look it up. So you got your computer.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, dude. That was another favorite show of mine too. Family Matters.
Oh.
Dude, Jaleel White. Dude, people underestimate his acting because he went in there as Urkel for like many years, and all of a sudden, remember the episode we turned to Stefan? Yeah. And that was just him, dude. It was like, it was kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Hyde type thing. We really compare it, like his acting, man. People they don't give him enough credit when he turned from to Stefan. He was all cool. I'm like, how'd he do that?
Why are your impressions so good, man? You definitely like embellished yourself.
Bro, I'm telling you, man.
In the 90s.
All that TV from then, man, it got me in trouble in school, man. I didn't do my homework because I was watching Family Matters. Yeah, what other shows you got there that oh no, you said Recess. Recess was one of my favorites. I felt like it kind of bled into the 2000s too, but late 90s Recess, I liked it because of the way it's structured. Like it was like kind of seeing society and a hierarchy because there was like a king and
it mirrored society. That's why like you're like, oh man, this was kind of crazy when you were thinking about it. I mean, thinking about it now. Before I was just like, because I don't know, that really didn't happen at my school or playground. At least I didn't feel like it. Like everybody had their own groups and whatnot. Like some people play kickball, some people just played on the playground. Some people like play basketball or whatnot, and it was just kind of like you did what you wanted to do.
But it was like also displaying different characteristics and personalities out in the recess. Like there were those brothers that like they were digging all the time, and then there was King Bob.
King Bob
Upside down girl. She was always upside down. I think there was an episode when she went right side up and her ponytail was still up. I was like,
What's going on?
I was like, oh my god. But that was one of my favorite shows too, just because like their friend group were all different, like ethnicities and background. Like the new kid. He was like an army brat.
He was an army brat,
and
yeah.
then the rascal, the tomboy, the tom girl, well, tomboy, the nerdy girl, the like everybody, like the jock. I was like, I like that show because it kind of showed like we can all come together, even if we're from different backgrounds. So that was one of my favorites too. Man, there was so many.
There's so many, dude. Like there also, like, there was kind of like a stint of, I think like the Disney Channel or whatnot, like they took their most popular movies and made like a cartoon show like of them, like 101 Dalmatians. They had its own separate like TV show. Little Mermaid had one. Aladdin had his own series. I remember watching that. Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
What?
I didn't remember that. I actually remember we were gonna go over this in movies, but Jumanji had their own TV show, the cartoon.
Yes, the cartoon, right? Exactly. Yeah, you see,
That-
so a bunch of different movies, like animated movies, had their own like run as cartoons on certain series.
Yeah.
And some of them were really good. I remember like watching some from Aladdin. Some of those were pretty heavy. Like some of them, I knew when there was a rerun of a certain rerun that was coming. I knew that like it was gonna be really emotional. Like I didn't watch it because I knew like I was like I can't handle this right now. Like, even as a kid, I was just like can't watch this. It's too sad.
Just got out of school. I ain't trying to cry. I got homework to do. But nah, I wish that there was like well, hopefully the new Disney Plus has like all those reruns or some sort of like place to go, kind of like rewatch the forgotten shows, like remember this show, click and like, you know what I mean, like yes. I'd be like, oh my god, I totally forgot, because there's some shows that kind of came and went, like one season of like whatever, like that we all forgot about. It was kind of like in the back of our heads. Jumanji, I mean, that was the one.
Yeah, Jumanji, that was from the movie, right? So that was when like it was originally a movie, and I think in the movie the premise of this show or this movie was that they found this magic. These kids just moved into town, and they found this magic game board in their attic or something. And when they play the game, whatever happens in that board game happens to them in real life, and they have to play. They can't just quit, or bad things will keep like happening to them. Yeah. And then I think Robin Williams played like a character who played that game from before, and he tried to quit or something, or he got trapped in the game, and now they're playing trying to like finish the game so they can free him, and so obviously they can like be free from the curse of this game.
Dude, now that you kind of broke it down to me, it was like almost like a life lesson in the movie, because it's like you got to finish what you start, don't give up. Yeah, because like even if he got stuck in the game, he would have been stuck there if they didn't continue the game or finished it, because I think he was the first to roll. And if you go, again, spoiler guys, it's been out for 20 years, so if you haven't seen it, that's your fault. I think he was the first to roll in the past.
Yes.
And then when he got towards the end, when the game ended, I think he was the last to roll to get to the finish.
Yes.
But that was a deep movie, man. Like, even though the newer ones with like Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart, those are great as well. I think they kind of paid slight homage to the first one, but the first one, man, was my favorite. Like as a kid, like Robin Williams, still missing to this day, R.I.P. That movie was so deep because it was like, and you know this, because I'm big on like time travel and stuff. So that movie kind of have a slight time travel because it's like
you and your time travel,
dude.
Are you sure you're not from like the future or something? You just came back just so you can talk about it.
No, man. I feel like the mechanics of it is just so like vast, like the way like in a movie in Jumanji, that we're talking about Jumanji, when he rolled the dice, got stuck in the game, and then he got released from the game like 25 years later, finished the game, and then in the end they ended up back in the past, like when they first started playing the game. So it's like it makes you think like when he finished the game, did it teleport him back to the past, or was it all in their mind? Was this all in the game to where like they were in the past the whole time and they got to see the future? So that means like when they became a kid again at like 12 or 13, in the movie they became like 40 or 50. So when they come back, are they like a 40-year-old person back in a 13-year-old body?
Bro, I don't know.
Bruh.
You need to calm down.
Bruh, I think about those stuff, man, all the time. It's like, yo, like that's the same thing with man, I'm getting off topic. What's it? Inception. Remember Inception
Yes.
when my boy Leo got stuck in the limbo?
Yes.
He was there for like what?
I don't know.
Like 80 years or whatever.
He doesn't even know.
He was stuck in there for like forever with his wife, and he turned old, and then of course, again, guys, spoiler. They died, and they came back to reality, but they're young again. So if they're like 80 years old in that limbo world, they come back
dream.
in the
real world.
The real world. Does that mean they still have an 80-year-old mind in the real world? See?
You make my
See?
head there. I don't
See?
need to think about this stuff right now.
See?
Okay. All right, moving on. All right,
Yeah.
I'm just looking through a list right now that I found, and there's some other ones in here that I remember that I cherish. Beast Wars, which is the sequel to Transformers.
Yes.
All right, and that was cool because that one was CGI animated, right? And was that 90s? Is that 90s?
Yes, it was 90s. It was 90s because earlier you asked me like what were some things that you and your friends argue about. Beast Wars is one of them, and I remember vaguely, 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Beast Wars is big, and I remember in my class, everyone wanted to be like, I want to be Ultimus, or I want to be there was another one, not Ultimus.
Which one?
No,
Was it
it
animal?
was like a tiger.
A Cheetor?
Cheetor.
Yeah.
They all
Yeah,
fought
Cheetor
to
was
be.
a little bitch.
They all fought to be Ultimus, the gorilla,
Yeah.
or Cheetor, and I wanted to be it too, but they made me the rat. There was like a rat character.
Rat Trap.
Yeah, they were like, nah, you Rat Trap. I'm like, man, fuck y'all. Mean kids back then. We had the toys and all, but I remember, 3rd grade, Beast Wars was the shit, and it was like,
Yo, Beast Wars was pretty deep, and
Yeah.
and the storytelling was great because it actually connected with the previous Transformers, and it's just kind of crazy to think about because now there's movies and whatnot. Man, if they make a Beast Wars movies, I'm gonna throw my laptop shoot.
like live action or like CGI. Or,
CGI. What I mean, I guess whatever. If it was live action, it'd be great. Live action, that'd be insane. I feel like with the way things are going, the technology and the way they can make movies, they can definitely make that happen.
Yeah, but I don't know. Speaking of Transformers, like I know there was like more movies of the Transformers that came out lately, but I stop at Shia LaBeouf.
Yes,
And
me too.
everyone's like, oh, you got
Me-
the other ones are like a
Me
different
too.
director, and I was like, where the hell did Mark Wahlberg come from? Like I was so confused. Like, nah, that's a different franchise, different director. I was like, man, I'm sorry. Like, I honestly stopped after Bernie Mac passed away. Because remember he was in, I think he was in the first or second one.
Yeah.
Yo,
When he
classic.
passed-
Yeah.
Classic.
And after
Tears
that,
happened.
I just like stop. But again,
Beast Wars was one.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember I did really enjoy like the CGI animated. All right, just quickly like Reboot. You ever watch Reboot?
reboot.
Reboot was like they took place in like a computer, right? And then like the user, quote unquote, the user would plug in a game, and then they're called sprites inside the game.
Yeah.
And the city was called Mainframe, and then they'd have to go into the game and they'd have to fight the user in this video game. They were like the antagonists in that video game, but they were actually the protagonists like as a viewer.
Right.
And then they'd have to like battle the user, and I was just like, and then there were like viruses that would you haven't seen this?
No, I haven't seen. It sounds like very similar to Tron.
Yeah, it's very Tron-ish.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
Tron, like a similar concept. Hold on, let me show you. Well, I guess our audience can't listen or see, but I'm gonna show you a photo, right? And then you can tell me if this rings a bell to you.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I remember it. I remember that show now. I never really watched it as a kid, but I remember that character, the one in the medium,
blue?
blue.
In the blue.
Yeah. Was it on like Cartoon Network? I think.
I want to say it was on Cartoon Network. I want to say it was also like on WB50, like Warner Brothers WB50. That's where Beast Wars was on. And you had all the different networks. So yeah, Fox had some. You had Cartoon Network had some.
UPN,
Nickelodeon.
no more of that.
Oh my gosh! Well, now because we have cable, like that's what that is kind of something else that kind of defined the 90s, right? These like network, like cable television,
Yeah.
Networks that shows different shows, and they would try to like compete for your attention.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it mirrors like modern day now. Like we have our smartphones. You have these different apps, these different companies. They're still doing the same thing, trying to compete for our attention. But now like they have access to us 24/7 essentially.
Yeah.
Versus like back in the day in the TV shows. You had the primetime TV, like, in the mornings, in the afternoons, right after work, in the evening. So they'd compete for certain audiences and attention by providing value through different shows.
Yeah, and back then it was different because I was in the basic cable household. We didn't have like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, whatever, or MTV, because that was not part of the basic cable network, and it was like a different world for me when I like would go to my cousin's house or whatever. I'm like, Cartoon Network, oh man, it's like cartoon all day, god dang, and it was kind of like a different world. But now, dude, like freaking kids can just click on YouTube and watch it in 2 seconds.
2 seconds, yeah.
Like they have that access. But no, you're right. Networks were competing for attention back in the day, but it's also different because as a kid then you're more resourceful because you got to know the ends and what show is on what network and what time and where to find it. Now you can just click a button on your phone and just view it.
Yeah.
Or if it's
you'll
paid,
find it somewhere.
Yeah, you'll find it easily.
You'll find it somewhere. Yeah, I remember. I had basic cable as well, but I remember going to like my friend Bobby's house from across the street, and he had cable. And at like a certain time, I'd go over to his place to watch a certain show, and then I'd like come back home to watch like a different show or something, or go to whoever had the channels or access to that show. Yeah, you did have to be resourceful, man. There's so many. It's kind of crazy now that I'm looking at the list. Like, there's so much more. Mighty Duck. Oh my gosh, Mighty Ducks. That was the cartoon show had nothing to do with the movie. The movie was literally about hockey, right? Love that movie. That was like one of those sports films. Got you pumped up. Teamwork and perseverance and whatnot. And the show was just like we're actually like alien ducks from like another planet.
Yeah,
that came to play hockey and fight like crime. It was, now that I think about it,
like nothing to do. It wasn't
ridiculous.
even a sequel. No, nothing. Like, but it was still great though. That was one of my favorites as well.
Mighty Max.
Yo, Mighty Max. Yes, that was one of my favorites as well. I can still remember the animation in my head.
The intro, Mighty Max, Mighty Max.
Yeah, dude, what was is that? I can. That's like early 90s.
Yeah, Mighty Max was 1993.
Yeah. Oh my god. Dude, I still think about the 90s being like 10 years ago.
10 years ago, dude. All right, so let's like I'm just gonna go through a few because I'm looking at this list and these are just like hitting me with that nostalgia like crazy right now. Biker Mice from Mars. I don't know if you ever saw that one. There's one called Bonkers. It was like the cat. It was one of the essential ones that I like, but he was like a cartoon kind of cat, and he was a detective or a cop, and he had like a partner, and he tried to solve crimes. It sounds
familiar. I might have to see a picture or something.
All right. Like, do you ever watch one called Mummies Alive?
Kind of.
Was
it Fox?
I think it was Fox. Yeah, like these mummies, like they were like warriors, and they protected the pharaoh, and then like they were frozen or something, and then they were basically some archaeologists found them like in the current year, like year like 1997 or whatever. And now they're living in the modern age, and then there's cars and stuff, and they like time travel, and then they found the new kid. He's like the reincarnation of the pharaoh, and basically they have to protect him because like the evil spirits from back in the day, like he failed at killing him and taking his power. But he's like, I'm gonna get you back. Maybe it's 1,000 years from now, and then it like morphs 1,000 years, and he comes back. He tries to kill him, and the mummies like come back to life, and they have these powers, and they try to protect them. Yeah, that one was good too.
I think I've seen that one. It does sound familiar. I think it was a Fox show.
Yeah, it was a Fox show. There was also it was pretty dark. Spawn.
What? There was a cartoon?
Yeah, it was a cartoon.
I didn't know
Spawn.
That.
Yeah.
I don't remember the movie.
Yeah, the movie. There's a cartoon. I think Todd McFarlane had like a cartoon series, and like that was a pretty good one as well. Man, so many movies. But all right, well, like aside from cartoons, was there anything else like, that you like
show?
What? Yeah, other shows.
You remember Beetleborgs?
Oh.
Beetleborgs. It was like Big Bad Beetleborg, and there was like, what was the premise? Like these kids stumbled upon a haunted house, and somehow they got granted power by this character that looked like Jay Leno.
Jay Leno. Yeah, it was like Jay Leno mixed with Elvis.
Yeah, he was like a clown with a big chin. He looked just like Jay Leno, and I think that's all I remembered. It was kind of like a Power Ranger ripoff in a way, because during that time era, there was a lot of those type of shows, like Power Ranger-esque type shows.
Yeah.
Beetleborg. This was one that I remembered. Maybe not a lot of people do remember, but you remember Mask Rider?
Mask Rider?
Mask Rider.
No,
Google it. It was based on like a Japanese show, just like all the other Power Ranger shows. But it was like he was like an alien that crash landed on Earth.
Yes, he had the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
He crossed over with
the Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers one
Yes.
time. Yeah.
he did.
But it was an odd show because if I remember correctly, he was like an alien of sort. He crashed landed on Earth, and then he stayed with his family. And in that show, the family, I don't know who was the casting director, but the dad was white, right?
Okay.
The mom was Asian. And I
Okay.
think the kid was black. I don't know if the kid was adopted, but if you search it up, I was like, yo, I think it was mom, dad, and kid.
Man, you just gotta think about it. That person who cast him was ahead of his time. That's what you gotta think.
They were.
All right. Did you know that Power Rangers, like Saban and I forgot who else? I think the guy's name who like brought it over from the Japanese television series. I think his last name is Saban, which is why. Well, anyways, when he brought it over, you know that they just cut up the parts of the Japanese,
Yeah.
and then they just like reenacted like the live action parts or whatever. So
Yeah.
essentially, this guy bought the rights to the show, and he put like half in the amount of time and the money, and then he aired it, and like he already had half the production done. He just had to edit it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Copy and paste. Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of crazy to me.
But then remember, they ran out of that and they started making their own. Because think about it.
They did? Wait, when did they start making their own?
Well, think about it. The first year or so of Power Rangers, who's the main villain? Rita.
Yeah, Rita.
And it was the Japanese lady,
Yes.
old lady.
Yes.
Those are the clips, right?
Yes.
But then later on, what happened? She turned young.
Yo, I don't remember this.
Remember when
man.
she turned young? She put her face on like a mask or something, and it was a different actress that played her, and she was actually kind of hot. I don't think that was a part of the old footages. I think they started shooting some new stuff.
Oh, they
Yes.
just made that to like.
Exactly.
I see.
Yeah.
To continue the series.
Yep.
Okay. You remember the Power Rangers movie? Did that
Yeah,
come
with Ooze.
with Ooze? Yeah,
Yo.
Ivan Ooze.
Ivan Ooze. Dude. Now when you look at it, like that dude, he was. Come on now, he's selling ooze. What's in that ooze? There's something strong in there, man. He was like the first drug dealer of his kind, man. No, he scared me. I felt like the movie, like Power Ranger movies and the TV show, they were kind of like similar, but not really, because like it was kind of the uniforms are different.
The uniforms are different. No, man. Wait, we're talking about the movie was tight. Like, dude, the production quality on the movie was like way better, right?
I wish they had it in the TV show. But...
Yeah, and the armor and whatever the costume they had, fire.
But that's the other thing too I want to talk about is that I wish that Ooze character wasn't just a one-off in the movie. I wish he was like in a series. Because he was like, I think he was more badass than like Rita and Lord Zed. Because they were kind of like comical. They were like, cause remember they had their little henchmen and they were like the comical villains, and they had the putties, and those were the most useless army ever if you think about it, because they had a little button in their chest that if you push it, they die.
Oh my god.
Why would you have that contraption on your henchmen? And like that's why they were comical to me. They didn't seem scary. If you had Ooze in the season, I don't think the Power Rangers would survive, man. That Tommy would have been Green Ranger, White Ranger, Silver, Purple, Turquoise all in one season. He would lose his power so many times. But that was one of my TV shows and movies as well as a kid.
Dang, I'm trying to think what else. I felt like, I mean, not just for those kind of shows like that we kind of watch, like, you know, kind of heroes for entertainment or whatnot. What other kind of shows? I see you right here. I mean, I did like watch a lot of kind of like educational stuff. I feel like Magic School Bus. Yo, man, I got through elementary school like science class because the Magic School Bus. I was ahead of the curve. That's what I felt like.
Magic School Bus, and then I have here Bill Nye, the science guy.
Bill Nye, this man,
dude. In the 90's, he was like the shit.
He still is the shit.
He is still the shit. I still watch like I think the last thing I watched about Bill Nye, it was him having like a debate with one of the what is it called? It was like the evolution versus like scientists versus like religion, pretty much.
Okay.
And I forgot that the guy's name is like last name
yeah,
is like Ham or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like arguing that like God created everything, blah blah blah. And then, you know, Bill Nye came in and was like, nah, science. Again, that's for another podcast. I'm not trying to get too deep on religion and stuff like that. Ken Ham, yeah.
Ken Ham.
Pretty good debate. It was like an hour and a half or 2 hours. But if you guys check it out, it's on YouTube. Pretty interesting stuff. But Bill Nye, he was like that video that every science class showed. Like when you come to class, you walk into class and you see that TV and that VCR set up ready to go. You're like, oh snap! It's gonna be a great class today. We watching some Bill Nye. We blowing some shit up. What's happening, Mr. Orson? I think that was my science teacher's name. What's up, Mr. Orson? He was mean, man. He was mean. I still remember, he was a mean guy. But no, Bill Nye was one of my favorites. In class, like science related, like I think that's how we all learn as a kid is Bill Nye.
No, I mean, my interest sparked because of Bill Nye. I would say I'm kind of sad because like I used to love. I mean, I still do love, science and even like math and whatnot. But it was like always fun to me. Maybe it's because those shows made it fun. But there was a point in time that like it stopped becoming fun. Yeah. Like because like schools and stuff stopped making it fun. Like that happened like. I don't know, high school or whatnot, and then like colleges and whatnot, because these people in academia are like testing, like making things like more difficult than they need to be to weed people out or whatnot. And I don't know if that's the right, I guess, like way to go about it, but that's a story for another episode about the education system. It's gonna piss me off.
Not this one, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
it's gonna piss everyone off. So we ain't trying to be pissed today.
I'm not trying to be mad today.
No, not today. But
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So lots of TV shows in the 90s, lots of educational ones like that we just went over. You said Magic School Bus. That one is one of my favorite as well. It was beautifully done. Great animation, great lessons every episode. I think, what did I hear? It might have been a meme or something, but someone said like that all the episodes, it was like all the kids or Miss Frizzle, something was on drugs.
Yes.
So it's just all in her head. And then, when they shrunk down into the size of a molecule and go into, what I mean? Like, I can see it, but also it's just like, man, like, did they go on a field trip every class? I didn't see no permission slips or nothing, I was like, they never stayed in class. You didn't even go to like, let's go see that Washington Monument. They're like, nah, we're going to go inside somebody's organs. What?
It's because, it's because Miss Frizzle was a G. And she was like, you don't need no permission slips. I'm going to take you on this class. You about to learn today.
That's true. I think they had a remake recently on Netflix. I didn't check it out.
Remake, was that a live action or was that cartoon?
It was like, I think it was a cartoon, like a Netflix, like original, not original, but it was like for the new age, like a modern day Miss Frizzle, and someone else voiced her. But I guess it's like new adventures and stuff. The animation looked different. I'm not big on that.
Would you? Okay, so are you in the camp like? If you had kids and whatnot, would you show them some of these 90s cartoons? And if you were to show them, which ones and why? Mm-hmm. And are there any shows, like, in contrast that you see today that you think are better suited to show young viewers?
Oh, man, to be honest, that's it.
Because some of them was, like, stupid. Like, I would not show my kid, like, I guess, like, for an example... As much as I love some of these shows, like Johnny Bravo, like it was like, like it was just so ridiculous, and it was kind of
he was like,
he's a womanizer.
He was thirsty.
He was thirsty, and I was just like, why would I show this to my kid? Like
Yeah, we didn't even dive into this part, but Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
I'd show my kids Dragon Ball Z, life lessons, man. Gotta ease them in. Naruto comes later, but I'm just saying, like Goku, he's all about that never give up fortitude, always trying to get stronger, even though he does it in the wrong way. But he's always like, if this is gonna cost my friends' lives just to fight these strong dudes so I can power up, yeah. But I mean, those like. There was nothing wrong with Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. I would show that to my kids. Those are timeless. I'll have them watch the OG ones, like what we went over, like Bugs Bunny, Animaniacs, stuff like that. Those are kind of safe. I don't know about the ones that we kind of watch now, like Family Guy and stuff. I feel like that's just too risque. Like,
yeah, that'd be too risque. No, I think I'd show them, like, I'd be very selective, to bring them to have like more of like an open mind or whatnot. I feel like I'd show them like Hey Arnold, like Recess, like Doug. I don't know. I guess I just gotta be selective when it comes to it. I mean, I would definitely show them like, I guess like anything Bill Nye related, anything like Magic School Bus related. Oh man, I don't know. It's just because there's so much content now. Like we live in a golden age,
Yeah.
of content like produced right now. There's
Yeah.
so much content everywhere. It's like so easily accessible,
Mm-hmm.
and it spans across multiple genres.
Yeah. And it's so easy, as you mentioned, it's so accessible that a baby that's 2 years old with an iPad can access anything.
Anything.
And watch it. They can dude, that's the genius again of Apple. They made something so easy that a 2-year-old can use it. And that's the one thing that kind of scares me. I don't know if I have kids one day, if I want them to be technologically prone that early and dependent.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather just throw them a book. Learn to access a book first versus turning on a tablet and
Same.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like accessing a book, toys, even too. If you think about it,
Yeah.
why there's so many of these cartoons back in the 90s and whatnot is because these networks were trying to sell toys.
Yeah.
Trying to get these shows popular so they can sell toys and they can make some money, off of us and their parents and whoever. Merchandise is a big thing.
Yeah.
Merchandise is a big thing. I mean, I saw you put it. Where are you? Toys R Us right here. What's going on over here?
So I had down Toys R Us. That was the go-to for us 90s kid. Toys R Us was the shit in the 90s. It was
It just recently went out bankrupt.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. What was that? What happened? When did it happen? Last year? Earlier this year?
I think about a year ago. And if I read somewhere correctly, someone might have rebought it and tried to reopen it again. But again, it's too late. It's not the same. Their ship has sailed. But on the 90s though, that was the go-to place. Toys, games. I remember vividly when Super Nintendo was out, and I would go with my my dad, my brothers, and remember the aisles. You go to the aisle and they have the little card.
Yes.
You see the games, but you have to pick up a little slip that's
Yes.
on there, and then you got to bring it to the window, and then they'll bring you the game system or the video game itself. And I was just dude, as a kid, that was heaven. Oh man, we're going home with a Super Nintendo. And of course, we didn't know much about games then. So my dad just bought the system. He didn't buy extra games. So we were stuck with that Super Mario World or whatever game that came with the system for a whole month. Beat that shit 2 times. And we're yo, we got to play something new. We gonna buy something new. But then back then it was it wasn't even I mean, I'm sure it's expensive then, but then it was what, $20 for a game, and the actual game console was $50, $60.
Yep.
Now you want to go buy a game, it's
$60.
$60.
Well, it is what it is. What was your favorite game coming up, playing up?
As a kid, I mean, all the Super Mario games is my favorite. Street Fighter.
I did like Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was my jam, but I remember I never got a chance to play it much because I always had older cousins.
Yeah.
And they were the one that were hogging the games, and they knew all the combos, and they like to play with their friends. So when I try to get in, I can never get in, and when I do, I get killed in 2 seconds.
Yep.
Because they
No
study all
mercy.
the it's I'm been waiting for years, and they finally get the controller, and then I'm playing. Finish him, huh? What happened? I just got the controller, and then do all dun 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 dun. Animality. I'm come on, man. Can I get a practice run? Next, pass the controller. Chat. That's my Cambodian name, Chad. But no, that was one of my favorite games. Mortal Kombat. It was that game was ahead of its time because the movie came out 95 too. So that was one of my favorite movies. It was Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, yes. I think for me, the games I always try to play not the games that were fighting, but the games that were co-op, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. It was a side scroll fighting. Contra 3 was the side scroll shooter game. Metroid, and I did like Mario as well. Shoot, man, what else? Oh, there's this one game that I actually played with my dad, religiously. My dad didn't even like video games, right? It was called Raiden Trad, and Raiden Trad was Raiden Trad is one of those old school games. And you might see these in arcades, and you probably see them on your phone now, but it's imagine a bird's eye view, and you're in an airplane, and you're flying through, and then it's Space Invaders, and you're shooting all the aliens and stuff like that. But on the Super Nintendo, I guess the console was powerful enough you could have 2 players, and so you had 2 airplanes, going through, trying to shoot down these ships and stuff like that. Yeah, and I remember getting mad at my dad because he'd always we get pretty far, and then he'd die, and then he'd take my life, and come on, Dad, we were hard. Just what are you talking about? You went my way, and then later, and then my dad get mad. He was like, you know what? Go do the dishes.
Yeah.
Go help your mom.
Yeah. It's your fault we lost. Yeah, no, I remember my dad was as a kid. He doesn't do it now, but he did play with us. He played like Super Mario and stuff like that. Like he was pretty good. And I was like, what? I mean, he had to. He paid for it. You know what I mean? But no, there was I feel like also like video games as a kid. Like you know nowadays they're like video games is ruining society and making everyone dangerous. Like, dude, it made us like learn how to strategize as a kid, like strategically. I feel like kids that are like gamers and stuff now, like they can multitask and think, especially like RPG and stuff. You have like tasks and goals that you have to complete. I think those kids that are adept to those games are better like thinkers
Like that. Oh yeah, you mean they can compartmentalize
exactly
like goals and like they know the system,
multitask. They're fast thinkers, and I felt like that kind of helped me to sort of navigate here and there in life because of like I was big on RPG. So RPG.
So what you're telling me is that you treat life like a big RPG video game. What's your stats right now? You maxed out yet? You about to level up?
I'm a little low on my MP right now. Use a lot of magic. You gotta stock up. Got slashed early in the last battle with the boss.
Man, who's part of your crew? You been on the quest? You know who's your knight? Your mage? You got a summoner now.
Got a summoner. Got a black magic. Oh my god, no, and that's RPG is more in my teens. So I think if it's talking about strictly 90's, I don't think I was smart enough yet to do RPG. But again, going to like fighting game stuff, those are the big ones because like I liked like multiplayer. Like
I like multiplayer. That was the cool. That was the thing about it. Like I felt like kind of like brought people together, almost like something you can talk about. You need these shows too. Like you can talk about it on the playground. Oh man, you see that show? You see last episode of Beast Wars, whatnot. Yeah. And I mean, gaming was too. I mean, I guess like technology in general, right? Like you remember when the Game Boy came out? Like what other technologies did you grow up with that are reminiscent of the 90's?
Well, it's not really technology, but you remember when Home Alone came out? Yeah. And he had the little walkie-talkie.
Oh, the Talk Boy voice recorder.
Yo, I begged for one of those. And they're like, who you gonna go talk to? I'm like, I don't know, one of my friends. Like, I wanted one of those because of the commercial, the way the commercial made advertising, and it was like he recorded his voice, and he was like, I'm over here, and he like made it auto-tune and stuff. I was like, I want to do that. That was hella fun. And it was even based on the movie. Like I forgot it was in the movie, but I think it was from the movie, right?
It was from the movie. Yeah. And I felt like that was just good product placement because like did he even use it in the movie? He maybe used it like once or something. Once, right? And he did it like to scare off the robbers when they came to the house, and he already recorded his uncle or whatnot, and then they sold it as a toy. Dude, I bet you like whoever came up with that strategy,
I mean, it was genius. Because I think they had like a girl version, I think it was called like
Talk
Girl, and it was like pink. Yep. Like, hey, girls can have it too, and I'm like, what? It wasn't even in the movie. But oh well, and I'm sure that one sold too. Dang,
Talk Boy, Game Boy. See right here, you got oh my god, Giga Pets, Tamagotchis. You have one of those?
Dude, I had so many, and they all died. I don't know how that blew up. I don't know if it was a Japanese thing, but I felt
like it was a Japanese thing.
It just came. It blew up. Everyone had one on their keychain. Yeah, and they were like, it was just like, I wonder how much it cost back then. I'm sure it was like $20-$30. Yeah. I'm sure it's more expensive now because it's like a novelty. But it was like, it was just like, get a pet, you feed it. If you don't feed it, it dies.
But it was on its own little device or whatnot. Wait, they gotta have these virtual pets on your phone now too.
I'm sure. But. I'm sure it's free and nobody kind of cares about that anymore. But it was just the idea of like you have this little gadget that you can put in your keychain that you can feed and pet
and train.
Train.
Gotcha. And some of them can battle each other. That's like the precursor to like
Pokemon,
Digimon, Pokemon.
And that's the other favorite game was Pokemon on the Game Boy. Like I think it was the OG Game Boy before the color.
Everybody had the game but me.
Really?
Dude, I didn't have a Game Boy. Yeah, my mom and my dad were like, "And you already got the Super Nintendo, you got all these games. No, we're not gonna give you like a game you can take on the go. Like you already have a tough time. Go read a book. Here's a book. I'll buy you a book."
Right.
And I was like, man,
can't level up through chapter 1.
Yes, but I remember I saved enough money to get like my first Walkman, Sony Walkman, you know, the tape cassette, and then eventually I upgrade to the CD player, you know, make my own mixed CDs. I mean, that was more later on, like 2000s, I feel like.
2000, but I actually had my own tape, like cassette tape player.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I remember vividly, I started like listening to hip hop. I shouldn't have, but I was, and I had Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh my God, Bone Thugs! You've been to Bone Thugs way back?
Like way back, like tape, like cassette.
Wow.
And my friend like let me borrow it, and he was like, "Yeah, this is from the blah 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 album. I don't remember what album, but it was like side A and side B." And I had my like tape, cassette tape dock. Listened to it at night, and it was like, you know, what was the song like? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you know, like, what did I miss everybody? Like I was like, yo, what are they saying? I have no idea, but it's great. I'm sure he's cussing the whole time, but I don't know. But I had that on cassette, like straight up, like. Dude, I actually missed the cassette. Like, I'm sure it's hard to find out, but it was just like the build of it. It was just like, here's your tape. Like, it was just a sound. Like, yeah, like I'm like, man, I'm ready to hear this track. And I used to record a lot from the radio back then.
What you ripped
ripped songs
from
like,
the radio?
Yeah, from the
radio. Wait, how? Like on your cassette player?
Not my cassette player. It was like more of like a cassette dock.
Gotcha.
Say, and you know, get tapes or whatever, and just like hit the record and play button, and you're just like praying that the DJ don't say shit, just so that way you can get the full song. Man, I don't want to hear your name, DJ. Like, remember Z104? Man, get the hell out of here. Let me get the track real quick. God, I gotta record again. But that's how you made like mixtapes back in the day. You gotta record the song, click stop. And just make sure there's that space. And the song comes back on. Click. Record.
Dang, I never ever did that. I just kind of like listened to the radio. I just prayed that they would play my favorite song. If I was lucky enough, somebody actually bought the actual like, you know, cassette player. Sometimes people get the vinyl. You know.
Yo, I wish I should get into vinyl nowadays. I feel like
it's a comeback. No, it's made a comeback. You know, the fidelity on them I think are pretty high, and I don't know, something about it just like.
The sound.
Sounds full, sounds good, you know? Oh, man, music was such a big thing. But, like, it's funny that you were into hip-hop. I think I got into, like, R&B first, you know, like Casey and JoJo, Jodeci, like, Drew Hill, and then, like, hip-hop came in. Like, I remember my older cousin, he had the cassette, I think it was a cassette, maybe it was the vinyl record, but he had... Souls of Mischief, 93 Till Infinity. Oh, my gosh, I played that for like, I don't know, weeks straight.
Right. Okay.
Weeks straight, man. Oh my gosh. Skee-Lo and the rest. Oh my gosh. Shoot, man.
I feel like music was a big part of my life in the 90s, but it was just so like such a blur. Like I felt like it was kind of like playing subconsciously in the background.
Always.
With all like the TV shows and stuff that's happening. There was always music there, whether it's like from the TV show intro or their soundtrack. There's always music there. It was just subtle. I don't think it grew until like my like early teens.
Right. And it was hard because I remember sometimes on the radio, like the DJs wouldn't say the name of the track or the artist, and you wouldn't know. And then it's not like today, you know, you can pick up your phone, listen to it, and tell you the name of the track, or you can look on a screen and it tells you like who produced it, the album is from, or whatnot. And I feel like there are a lot of songs out there that I know, like I've heard, but I'm not quite sure like the artist or the name of the track, you know. And it spans across a lot of genres, like even like from pop to rock, you know, funk and blues and jazz. Like they're like the tunes, they're in my mind. I know, but I don't know who they are. And when somebody tells me, "Oh, you don't know that song? You don't know who, like that person, that artist?" and whatnot, I'm like, I don't think I do. But then when they play me the tracks, like, man, of course I know that song.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the great thing about music is that like I don't know most of the names of it, but like if you play the first few seconds of the track, I know the beat.
Or the melody.
And I've had that happen to me where it's like I like back then I heard a song and I'm like, yo, this is a great song, but then I only know like the word that's repeated in the chorus.
Or the hook.
And the hook.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I don't know the title or the artist, but I remember that part of the hook, so I'll search it up and find it later. But then, stupid me, forget the hook. So now I kind of have a vague melody, but I don't remember the words, so I don't know where to search. Like now you can hum it or whatever, Shazam or whatever, but back then it's like, oh, I guess that's that song's in my memories.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy, man. Shoot, So what else like do you remember? Do you remember like you watch stuff on VHS? I remember when the show like those Saturday morning cartoons and whatnot come on. I remember Game Changer. I learned how to use the video cassette, the VHS player to record cartoon shows.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, my mom used to do that, and she used to do it for me because I remember I had soccer practice. I'm like, Mom, I can't miss this show. I didn't know what's going on, and yeah, she'd record it for me. Or like if I missed it, gotta wait a couple months or whatever. It comes out on VHS at Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or something. I go there, rent it out.
Yeah.
Bring it back home.
No, yeah, I learned. As a kid, because my uncle used to live with us, so he's very like tech savvy and stuff, and he used to like record things all the time from TV. Like, dude, I honestly grew up in the 90s thinking I was in the 80s because my uncle was a big 80s kid. So he used to like record like music videos like MTV and stuff.
Yeah.
Like on tapes. And that's how I learned. And he would just play them all the time. So, I grew up on like Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah, Michael
Prince
Jackson.
And,
yes.
And all those stuff too. So like, yeah, I think Michael Jackson always played a big part in my life.
Oh, yeah,
as a
heck
kid.
yeah. Yeah, same. Even my family. I remember like my parents didn't even like watch or like I feel like they didn't really listen to that type of music, like pop music. But I remember when a Michael Jackson music video came out,
Bro,
it was an event.
I think I honestly think it's a Cambodian thing. I think we like Cambodians somehow spiritually connect with Michael Jackson. Like he was such a great entertainer. Like think about it. To this day, I don't know half the things he say in his songs. I just know the feeling. Think about it. Like you listen to I don't know what the hell he said, but I felt that shit. Annie, are you okay? I don't know what happened to her, but I hope she's okay. Like that's how like that I felt like that's how Mike like connected to us in a spiritual level. Like when my grandma was still alive, she used to listen to Michael Jackson stuff
No
too.
way.
Yeah, like when my uncle like put it on stuff, like
Yeah.
she'd listen to it. She don't understand a word he's saying, but I'm sure she felt it when he, does the crotch move. Oh, and he starts yelling for no reason. Like I don't, man, like to this day, hands down, greatest entertainer ever. Like he created something that's like you can't duplicate. You can imitate it, but it will never be another Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm sorry. And back to VHS. Recorded a lot of music videos. I remember as a kid I watched like a lot of wrestling, so we used to like record wrestling. I don't know why we did that. Me and my brothers used to like watch it on TV and record
WWE
it.
or WWF?
Yeah.
What was it at the time?
It was WWF.
WWF.
It would just come on and we click record.
There was like two. There was WWF. Was there another like
WCW.
WCW?
Because we had games too, and we'll go back to that. But
Yeah.
don't know why we watch it, but then we record it. Like we're gonna watch it again tomorrow.
Yeah, but you never did.
We never did. We just have all these tape with wrestling that we would just record.
I think that's just kind of like human nature to kind of like collect and curate and archive. We want to keep it for posterity. My mom's like that too. Like, I remember she recorded a lot, and like she would keep things like as mementos and memories and whatnot. And I felt like that was kind of like a way to do it, And I mean, now like with so much ease of access to like curate everything, you can curate your own list, make your own playlists, and curate your own shows and whatnot. And art, I think it's the same. Goes in that same vein.
I mean, no, you're right. Like back then, I always questioned, like, why am I doing this? Why do we have to record this, set up? But then now, when I think about it, now as an adult, I wish I did, because then you'll have things to look back at.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
I did that as a kid. Whoa, that's funny. Like, like we used to like shoot videos and shit as a kid.
Yo, speaking of shooting videos, like, so my dad recently asked me, he's like, hey, Will, do you know how to like convert this file format to this format? I was like, I don't know, Dad. No, I didn't think so. What are you talking about? What are you doing? And what he did was he bought this device, and because he used to take a lot of home videos of us.
Yeah.
And I remember coming back home one day, and I just heard my mom and dad laughing, like cracking up, like over in like the living room or in the study area, and I was like, what the hell's going on over here? And they were watching all the old home videos of me as a young kid, my diaper's still like falling, trying to walk and shit. And I was like, man, that's messed up. And so I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, and he's basically trying to digitize like all his old VHSs on the computer and keep it on a hard drive, right? And it's just kind of like crazy now that like we don't really have to do that. We got our phones and whatnot, and everything's stored in the cloud,
Right.
And it's just like kind of crazy that it's just like human nature to re-record and keep things for posterity. I did like to rewatch some of those old home videos, and some of them were like connected to like an old movie that my mom would record that showed on TV or that we would rent, and then she would record because we'd watch it again. Like all my favorite, like all the Disney movies, like the Three Ninjas.
Oh,
like
classic
Three Ninjas, Space Jam, all that. They're on VHSs somewhere.
That's how you know someone's age if they had Space Jam on VHS.
Yes.
Because I know they re-releasing stuff now on like Blu-ray, but if you had the original Space Jam on VHS, that case,
yes,
that plastic case, OG, one of the best movies of all time. I just want to let you know that Space Jam, Michael Jackson, number 23. Just saying.
When you just say Michael Jackson, you mean Michael Jordan?
I'm sorry, Michael Jordan.
Oh man,
I got all my Michaels mixed up today. Because that still stuck in my head. I'm sorry, but no, that was Space Jam is one of my favorite movies of all time. I feel like when you watch it now, it's so like, what's the word? Cheesy.
Cheesy? Yeah, it was kind of cheesy, but
cheesy
like,
movie.
But I don't know, it worked.
Yeah, it worked. But I feel like you wouldn't be able to make that work today. Like, I wouldn't able to see like LeBron James in Space Jam, going underground to play against the Monstars. Like, I don't know. I felt like Jordan had that, like, okay, I got it. Like, he had that look. So that's what made it a classic. And I think his kids in that movie were in that movie too.
Oh, yeah, the kids were in that movie, yeah.
And they're like Jordan Jr., but
I think I liked that movie a lot because it was a play on, his comeback to the NBA. Like, what did he do when he left the NBA and came back? What happened in between that time? It's almost kind of like a mockumentary, almost, right? He's like, he went to Chicago, play baseball, then he stopped. But what he was really doing was that he was go help Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes defeat the Monstars in the game. And that's the reason why he came back to the NBA. And I just thought that was like thinking back on it, I was like, oh, this is genius.
Yeah.
Like, genius kind of like storytelling and marketing, like, mixing between the two. Because as a kid, I think there's a part of me that really believed that or wanted to believe, like, oh yeah, the reason why MJ came back is because, the Looney Tunes helped him, and I was just, when thinking back, it's kind of ridiculous.
And when I remember watching that movie, the Monstars, they kind of scared me, man. But then you look at it, they're kind of like doofuses.
Yeah.
They're not really smart, but they're just like monstrous. But it was just like how the other characters reacted to them that made them like powerful. I remember Sylvester.
Oh, Sylvester, yes.
Yeah, because he was always the one that spits.
Yep.
He's like, they're monsters, and I'm like, yo, if he's scared, I should be scared. He's scared. And I remember to this day, I think I should have mentioned it, but my favorite character cartoon as well was that Rooster. Foghorn.
Well, yeah, Foghorn Leghorn.
Because he was ridiculous. I said. Like, what was his purpose? I think his episodes, it was just that the people that are after him thinks he's a chicken. So they try to, like, catch him and eat him.
Yeah.
But he's a rooster.
But he's a rooster, the chicken hawk or whatever.
Yeah. They're just trying to catch him and cook him. But they don't know that he's not a chicken. He's a rooster. And he's just like, he's like a country rooster. Because he's like, I said, and he's like just like chilling, just retired, and I thought he was so chill, and he did crack me up because like I didn't understand his motive or his daily like mechanics. But he was just like there, like he wasn't like Bugs Bunny where he was an asshole. He was just
kind of there.
He was just there.
Yeah, so he's just there trying to like get away, trying to survive.
Yeah,
kind of. I think for me, I liked I think I liked a lot of the cartoons that like you didn't hear any word Coyote and Roadrunner.
Oh yeah.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Like, and that was just all. I think that kind of stemmed because I think I like those because my dad liked those.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't know, he was still learning English and he didn't know English at the time. I don't know. And then also like I guess like my dad was a huge fan of like Charlie Chaplin and those like old school films.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. Like Charlie Chaplin. I was big on Benny Hill. If you guys are familiar with Benny Hill, the reason
what's
why
Benny Hill? What's Benny Hill?
Benny Hill is like a UK kind of like stand up, not stand up, but like a sketch comedian.
Okay.
He was kind of like the modern day Charlie Chaplin per se, because Charlie Chaplin was like his hero, and he had like silent like
films.
like silent films, and this is like kind of like the running Fizgo gag. He had that very famous theme. If you hear it, you know it.
Yes.
The chasing scene. That's
it.
Benny Hill.
Okay.
And I knew of Benny Hill because again, my grandma used to watch that all the time. Again, to this up until she passed, she didn't know lick English, but you put on Benny Hill and she's in tears because of the physicality, the comedy. It's like you don't need language to understand
what's happening.
Yeah, so from start to finish, she knew the story, she knew the premise, she knew the characters, she knew the consequences, and I would, she babysit us, so I'd watch it with him or with her too, and was like, yo, this dude's hilarious. I'm like 5-6 years old, don't understand nothing, but I'm like dying because he was able to portray like comedic movement with no sound, and it's just like little sound effects which are ridiculous. It was like like if he gets like hit or whatever, and it's like like it was like really stupid, but it was like hilarious, and I think he was like one of my like influences as well, like comedy and stuff like that. So Charlie Chaplin, Benny Hill, those are one of my favorites too, because like
didn't they have they also influenced like some Cambodian like comedians too. What are the names? A Khoi and a Krom, right?
A Khoi and a Krom, for my non-Cambodian viewers out there. Those are the two top comedians in Cambodia.
Sketch Cambodian. They're very like Charlie Chaplin-esque. Like they even like had the mustache like kind of drawn like him. You could tell they drew a lot of inspiration.
Yeah.
From him. There was I remember there was one skit you told me about. A few of their skits, like, and I just remember you told me, and I was dying laughing.
The one famous one, it's called. It was not a skit. It was like they always have these like really low budget movies.
Yeah.
And it was called Aquat and Aquan.
Aquat and Aquan. Yeah.
So to translate for you guys, Aquat means blind. Aquan means like handicap, like someone that is like lost a leg, or they can't walk. So the main story is pretty much one of the two of the comedians that's starring in this low budget film or movie is one of them is blind and the other one is handicapped.
Right.
And they both are kind of like these indentured servants that live under these like cruel and ruthless masters.
Yes.
Two different household, and they're like forced to do these hard labors, and their masters are just mean as fuck to them. Like, and they're just hating their life. Like Aquat, the blind guy, he's like being picked to like go fetch the water from the well and go water the plants, and he's just blind. Like,
so he can't see. So
he can't see.
So he has a tough time.
So he has a tough time. So they're just picking on him, making him do all this stuff, and then he's like just pitiful. He's like, man, stupid boss making me do all this stuff, and he keeps forgetting that he's blind and that the boss is still standing there. Like, the hell are you talking about? Oh, huh? What? And then like he'll play dumb or whatever, and he'll go fetch the water, and then the other guy, Aquan, he's the handicapped one.
Yeah, the missing leg,
making him like pick stuff up and going up and down the stairs. Yeah. And he's like, can't you see I got no leg? And he's like, you my slave, you got to do whatever I do or tell you to do. And they like, they kind of like were on their chore run, and they like bumping each other.
Yep.
And they met each other. So the blind guy meets the handicapped guy, and they're just telling each other live, like, yeah, I got these ruthless master, and they're so mean to me. And they're like, you know what? We don't need them. Let's run away together. So then like they like ran away from their cruel masters, and they like go about their journey. So like the guy that's handicapped would hop on the back of the blind guy.
Yeah.
And the blind guy can run. So like the handicapped guy is like giving him directions. Like, don't go that way, don't go out. Make a right, make a left. So it was kind of like a weird pairing, but it was a great kind of like very simple story that I thoroughly enjoyed as a kid. And it was like it's like stupid funny, actually.
Slapstick.
Slapstick comedy. That's the name. Yeah. So if you guys ever want to look it up, you can Google or YouTube.
Man, can you? Is that on YouTube?
You can. Yeah, you can.
Really? I guess YouTube got everything now. Show all the list of all the shows we mentioned and links in the show notes. Keep an eye out. If you have questions or whatnot, hit up AyoRichard to say, hey, Richard, what's that show you were talking about? If you want to check it out, show your kids, whatnot, get some nostalgia.
Yeah, definitely. I can send it your way. And if you're uncertain of certain phrases, again, Google has Google Translate, but I definitely can help as much as I can with that as well. And yeah, so it looks like, man, you got me reminiscing hard, yo. I felt like I was 10 years old again.
It felt like I went to a time machine.
Well, I guess it looks like reminiscing time has to come to an end. Again, I wanted to say thank you to all the viewers out there, everyone that's listening to the debut episode here of Kick Back and Chillax. Like, subscribe. Again, keep an eye out for the next episode. Tell your friends, tell your dogs, tell your mom about us. We will be back. Again, thank you for listening.
Yeah, man. Come back, kick back with us, chillax with us. Till next time. Peace.
Peace.